What does this merry, colorful scene have to do with the distant memories of Second World War? How are the freshness and joy that radiate from the installations connect to the subject of the Holocaust? My previous exhibitions about those years reflected my dark and somber mood. Here too, the memory boxes, particularly the personal autobiographical ones, convey sadness and pain. My father, at the front of the orchestra he conducted, and my mother behind him, not very long before her disappearance, murder by the Germans. Artworks with names like threat, destruction, burned, evoke our enormous tragedy. Written on the wall, "Cherries, cherries," echoed the shout in the yard. We ran home for a coin. There beyond the yard, where a few days before we had found the body of dead German, were two piles of cherries shining in the sun, one light and sweet, the other dark and tart. A coin was offered in exchange for a brown paper cone filled with cherries. What joy! Silence. The whistling of the rocket ceased. Slowly, cautiously, we came out of the cellar, and there, outside, we saw something yellow and small flying through the air, and then another and another. The children started jumping into the air to catch and gather the pretty golden wrappings. The sweet factory had been bombed. A call was heard, and the child found the real candy in a paper wrapping. But the name of the exhibition, the two colorful installations, and the story behind them reflect a little girl's sense of relief and joy as she comes out of hiding into fresh air and freedom. Nonetheless, most of those distant memories bring no peace. One day, because of the neighbors' suspicions, my Polish saviors decided to send me away from their home. In the trilogy, In the Forest, Alone, and In the Village, I wonder, reflect about where they took me in a sack full of straw. I was put into a sack covered with straw and loaded onto a horse-drawn wagon. All the way to the village I tried not to sneeze, scratch, or laugh, because the straw was horribly itchy. I know it was in the vicinity of my town Brody, but how long did I stay in each place? When was I taken back to my adoptive family, the Miklaszewskis? In the forest, I remember being very ill and looked after by an elderly widow. Alone, a shabby hat, being forbidden to approach the window in case someone saw my shadow from the street. What did I do there during the many hours of loneliness? The tiny baby who was sometimes in the room staring at me only increased the fear. In the village, I stayed with some farmers, going out barefoot with the children to herd the huge cows in the green fields. I wonder if the exhibition in the gallery conveys to the visitors the little girl's sense of burden and lack of confidence at that time. I wonder if the distant, time-blurred memories are conveyed better by the abstract artworks, the winds of war, unraveled wall, memories, collage, or by the figurative artworks. There was a figure, to dust you will return. This is my fourth exhibition to deal with my distant autobiography that is not easy, and I am glad to finish it with the small fragments of satisfaction brought by the end of the war. The taste of cherries, the candies, the sight of golden paper wrappings, or were they butterflies?